There is this looming rhetorical issue, and I say rhetorical intentionally because I'm not sure this is going to continue once Trump is president, of governors and mayors saying that they will defy federal government supremacy when it comes to deporting illegals. The latest of which is the individual that we at Turning Point Action are now focused on removing in 2026, getting Katie Hobbs and Chris Mays fired. That is step 2 of our project, by the way, at Turning Point Action. She's got to go. Where she is saying that she will not allow the federal government to deport foreigners and illegals who have committed crimes in Arizona. In theory, they could just say the federal government is not welcome. Now, isn't it interesting how Greg Abbott was not allowed to secure the southern border, but all these states are allowed to now defy it? We're not going to put up with it. This is the first clip. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu says she will not cooperate with deportations and protect the illegals in her city. Now, let's just be clear. This is why we need Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. If this ends up happening and they are defying immigration, customs, and enforcement, you should arrest Michelle Wu. Arrest her. Sorry. 6-count indictment for violation of rights or whatever part of the criminal code. Put Michelle Wu in prison. Now, you have to use this very sparingly and with precision. But if you dare not allow us to deport foreigners and secure our borders, well, then you're going to have to go to federal prison. Play cut 27.
What will Boston's response be if these mass deportations take place?
Yeah, look, elections have consequences, and the federal government is responsible for a certain set of actions, and cities, no individual city can reverse or override some parts of that. But what we can do is make sure that we are doing our part to protect our residents in every possible way, that we are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear and having large-scale economic impact.
Now, to be clear, if you want to protest the federal government, Michelle Wu, you have every right to do that. You can march in the streets. You can do all sorts of different free speech allowed activities. That is perfectly permissible. However, if you sabotage the execution of our laws, that's a crime. The mayor of Oakland in Trump's first term helped illegals evade ICE. And Katie Hobbs is saying the same thing in Arizona. Joining us now is Eli Crane, who is a great congressman in Arizona. Eli, congratulations on re-election. It was as easy as I would hope, and we chased a lot of ballots for you up in Yavapai and parts of Maricopa. So, Eli, congrats. What is your reaction to this new narrative that mayors and governors are going to resist the federal government from executing federal law?
Well, hey, Charlie, thanks for having me on. Honestly, I'm not surprised to see governors in these blue states, talking about, resisting or not collaborating with the president on his deportation agenda. But you said it yourself. They don't have to collaborate, but they cannot obstruct. And that's why I'm so glad that President Trump, appointed a border security hammer like Tom Homan. He's been speaking very open, honestly about this, and he's been very strong in saying, hey, you don't have to cooperate with us, but do not get in the way, because with or without you, we are coming in. If I have to double the amount of agents that I bring in, we will get these people out of your towns, out of your cities, and we will make sure that we are protecting the American people if you will not.
Yeah, so just from a legal standpoint, now let's play Katie Hobbs. Katie Hobbs is saying that she will not allow federal enforcement of the laws. It's outrageous. Play cut 30.
As you know, Trump has promised that he would carry out mass deportations on day one of his presidency. Your state is estimated to have 250,000 undocumented immigrants. Some Democrats in your state, like Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego, say that she wouldn't allow police to be used to carry out this plan. Would you, as governor, allow state police and National Guard to carry out mass deportations?
We will not be participating in misguided efforts that harm our communities, and I've been incredibly clear about that.
Look, she hedges a little bit here. And also, Katie Hobbs is a moron. She's not a smart person. And also, Phil in our audience, Eli, she was MIA this entire election cycle. She knows she's unpopular. She knows that she doesn't have a constituency. Eli Crane, your reaction?
Well, you're right. Katie Hobbs is an imbecile. I mean, she says that she won't participate in any misguided efforts that harm her community. It just goes to show how tone deaf she is with the mandate that President Trump just got, and with the reality of the actual harm that's being done to our communities in Arizona because of this wide open southern border. And Charlie, you know the list as well as anybody, from MS-13 gang members, other Venezuelan gangs coming over that southern border, individuals on the terror watch list, fentanyl. I mean, the list is almost too long to continue to list, but it just goes to show that she doesn't know what she's talking about. And she said later in that clip that she's not going to allow it to happen on her watch, which also shows, Charlie, she doesn't understand the law. And, she doesn't have to cooperate. They don't have to allow police, local police, or the National Guard to participate in any of these deportations, but she cannot get in the way of federal law enforcement officers like ICE that are going to go in there and remove, illegals from our communities. And that's where it comes into, us in Congress and making sure that ICE has the budget needed, if needed, to double the amount of agents that are going to go in there. And then, we might even be having votes up here in Washington, D.C. to defund some of these sanctuary cities, something that I'd be happy to do because, I know why the people of Arizona sent me here, Charlie. They sent me here to protect them. They sent me here because they do not believe that a lot of the bureaucrats and elected officials in Washington put them and their safety first. And that's why I'm so glad that Trump has brought in individuals like Stephen Miller, Tom Homan, and others who are laser focused and have been for a very long time on protecting American citizens.